today in the Gentlemen's Club, we do have Paola, straight from Mexico, with here. Very good-looking tequila, Cabo Maya. And because I have already tasted some, I have to say it's very awesome. So welcome, Paola.
Thank you.
So
happy to be here.
I hope you have a good time in Greece. It's not your first time, neither your second.
Yes.
You have been here how many times?
Already since 2021.
Ah,
21.
A lot of times here.
A couple of times, yes. Not as much as I want.
Yeah, so you love Greece, I think loves you and your tequila. I know in the bar show you had a hit with Cabo Maya. Everyone was talking about it. And thank you for being here.
Nah, thanks for having me. I'm so happy that you also have some tequila here downstairs in the shop and everything. It's really an honor.
So I think the big question that everyone would like to know: how did you get into this business? I have to say, she's the owner of a brand, so you created it from the scratch. You found the recipes, you found the branding, you found the everything.
So I'm from Querétaro. Then I moved to Guadalajara to finish my studies in engineering biotechnology. And there I tried the really good tequilas, like the premium one, the more handcrafted ones. Back then in Querétaro, this was before 2013, there were some industrialized ones, and in Guadalajara you can find these small boutiques with the premium ones more back then than now, and now they're a bit more getting everywhere, or getting a bit more popular premium or handcraft. But back then I said, wow, this has to be out there.
Yeah.
So yeah, I started first with something that really shouts Mexico, what can be exported, that says this is Mexican, no doubt, and that's tequila.
Yeah. The tequila and the style and the colors and the...
Exactly. You just mentioned that. So that's what I wanted back then. Some of the labels were very papery, and I said Mexico is colorful. Mexico is also we have different. Cultures behind, depends on the region of the country and so on. So I designed the Quetzalcoatl or Kukulkan, which is for the Aztecs or for the Mayas Kukulkan. And I said this has to be colorful, and this is something that really represents and is very cool for Mexican culture as well, from some regions from Mexico, to represent also the tequila as a logo.
I know it is very difficult to create tequila because of the laws you have there. It takes a lot of time to grow the plant, actually, to cut it and then make the tequila. And so someone has to take care of a plant, someone has to take care of the final product, because either, in Europe we do have two images, two concepts about tequila. Either it's a party drink, so you drink and you don't understand what you are drinking. But nowadays, in the last years, premium tequila is growing really into the people here, and they're already trying. I think it's already above rum in consumption worldwide.
Yes.
Yeah. So people are really like tequila, especially the aged ones.
Yes.
So what can you tell us about the yellow liquors?
Yes, that's true. So we have the three types. There are many other types as well. We have a joven in the tequilas classes or sections. We have here, but Cabo Maya, there's only Plata in Europe, which is Plata or Blanco with no aging at all. It's directly from the distillation. Then we have the Reposado. This is 8 months in American white oak barrels. And the Añejo is 18 months in American white oak barrels, the same ones. So we have the tequila absorbs more, depends on the months and so on from the barrel. And then we have different type of notes and taste. And
the aging in Mexico is tropical aging, right? Because of temperature variations there.
Yes, it's tropical, but I may say that in Los Altos de Jalisco, or even I'm sure in the tequila region in Jalisco, in some areas, we can have up to like 0 degrees or 2 degrees at some point, maybe midnight, like 4 a.m. At some point in the winter.
Below 0.
Could be, yes. And then we can have 20 degrees or 30 degrees difference in the day.
There is a saying in Greece, they say, "Δεν κάνει κρύο στην Ελλάδα." It never gets cold in Greece. But I think same goes for Mexico,
Yes.
but we do have our moments.
Yes.
The cold ones, the wintry ones.
Yeah.
I was referring to the tropical aging because 18 months in a tropical aging environment, it's like 5 years in a continental aging
Yes.
process.
And
So
of
you
course,
get a lot of flavor out of a barrel.
exactly, and also Mexico is it's a lot more warmer than colder, of course. This is
Yeah.
just like few days a year, and it's just a couple of hours during the midnight.
Yeah.
No, so
The temperature ups and downs
Yes.
do the trick.
And this
do the trick.
also, it's a trick on the fermentation.
Yeah.
So when it's winter and when it's summer, we have different type of notes from the fermentation. that
So
will
if you
bring.
harvest the plant in the winter, is a different note than the summer.
There are certain tricks, and jimadores know exactly when to harvest the plants. For example, it's important not to harvest them in rainy seasons. It will be
Yeah.
very watery and so on, for example. But the fermentation, this will give definitely different taste on the notes.
What is a jimador?
The jimador is a person, with a koa. So the koa is this instrument, which is this kind of stick with a very sharp metal edge, but it's in a round, like in a circle, in a round, but very flat.
Yeah.
So with this one, the jimador is the person that harvests the agaves. That when you cut like with a, like this.
We have seen the picture.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We can show them later as well. When they harvest like this, with a very sharp edge, the leaves from the agave, then they leave the piña. And so
The
we
ball.
Exactly.
Yes.
And piña is pineapple in Spanish, and it looks like a pineapple, so that's why we call it la piña. Actually, it looks like that.
Nice. This I didn't know. Can you tell us a bit more about the process about how you
Yes.
we take the piña, we cut it with the
Yeah.
jimador.
So-
Then what happens?
And as you said, it has to grow at least from 6 to 7 years, sometimes 8 years. Back then, we had bigger agaves with more years. Nowadays, sometimes the big brands are harvesting even smaller. But this, of course, is not good for the sugars and the fermentation and so on later. So,
How many liters of agave can you get from one piña?
for 1 kilo of agave, we can have 1 liter for 7 to 8 kilos of agave.
From 1 kilo.
For 1 liter
Yes.
from 7 to 8 kilos of agave.
I mean about the piña.
The
How many?
piña can grow from 30 to 60 kilos. Can be. Yeah. So,
Big one. Yeah,
it
big
can
one.
be very,
Big
very
baby.
Yeah. So actually, when they're sent to the oven or to the autoclave, we have to cut them at least in half.
Yeah, to fit inside.
Not only to fit, but to be able to be cooked better like.
Yeah.
Yeah. For the
Homogeneously,
efficiency
yeah.
later on the fermentation.
Okay, and then you get the agave, put it in the distiller.
Yes, we have different processes. I always say that if in the tequila, each process can have different, like around 4 different ways of doing it. And all of these are key of how your tequila would taste at the end. For Cabo Maya, we call it a premium tequila because we use from 7 to 8 kilos of agave for 1 liter. And we use this, the piñas are cooked in autoclave at the moment. And it means that we are controlling the pressure and the temperature to be cooked.
Yeah.
Then we smash them with meals. So there are around 4 meals, and there are different sizes for each of the, rows.
Yeah.
So they smash and squeeze after the fermentation.
They get the juice out.
Yeah, to get all the juices for the fermentation. And we also get some of the juices that are like left under from the cooking piñas.
Yeah.
So we also take those juices for the fermentation. Then, as we said, we squeeze them on the meals. And then we have prepared the mosto or the
Mosto.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're using Greek musto.
Yes.
Yeah.
The microorganisms.
Yeah.
We prepare them, and so it's controlled, and we have more or less same taste. So the microorganisms.
The same mass, so then you distill that mass.
Exactly.
So
And
do they make tequila at homes in Mexico? Can you make? We do make chipuro here. We do have some do it yourself distilleries at homes.
I think the way of doing tequila at home will be a very, very artisanal way of doing it, and we will cook the piñas like mezcal in a mezcal way. So that will be
in the ground,
like barbacoa. That's our like some of the
How you do
typical food from Mexico in some areas also.
So that gets more smoky.
Yes.
Yeah.
So then the tequila will get some smoky notes, and I'm not sure if people will recognize it as tequila by itself.
Yeah.
But of course, nevertheless, we have the regulations on top. Could not be called tequila.
Well, I mean, why I was asking, because tequila is probably a big part of Mexico culture. So you use it in your own rituals, in life. I mean, in parties, in weddings, in every occasion.
Yeah, true. True. Also, I call the tequila. Even there is a Tequila National Day, an International Tequila Day.
2 days.
Yes.
2 days a party.
Why not?
Okay.
Tequila had to be. For me, the Tequila Day, the main day where all Mexicans drink tequila or mezcal sometimes as well. You know, it will be on our Independence Day. Yeah, which at 15th of September at night we will celebrate it.
Nice day to visit Mexico then.
Yes,
15th of September.
to drink tequila.
Okay. Can we drink some tequila in Greece? So you have brought some nice artisanal tequila here.
Yes.
So you're going to try some and then talk about its product.
Definitely.
Cabo Maya. How does the name come from? Where does the name come from?
Well, actually, let me get you some plata.
Oh, thank you.
Perfect. So the name Cabo Maya, for me, it was, I actually started, as I mentioned before, like from the logo, with the Quetzalcoatl.
From the logo.
Yes.
This is Kukulkan. Okay, slowly. Kukulkan.
Yes, but I'm sure one day we will do the Quetzalcoatl challenge.
Okay, slowly.
Quetzalcoatl
challenge.
Yes, you might win.
Okay, we can do that in the event next week. We are going to give you some Mexican names.
Okay.
And everyone that pronounces it right, you will be the judge of that. They get like a free shot.
That would be nice, yes. So I started with the logo. I really wanted something that represents with the colors and so on. And I tried these very more crafted tequilas from the industrialized there. And I was knocking doors, telling them if I could do a special edition on their label with the Quetzalcoatl, the colors, because I thought this would sell or represent better Mexican culture and so on, the tequila out there. And the thing is that no one answered. No one answered the door because, of course, I didn't know. I'm not from Jalisco. I'm from Querétaro, although I have family in Jalisco. And I didn't know that tequila was their babies. Yes, it's their babies. So basically, I was telling them that your baby has an ugly face. Let me change it for a special edition. And no one answered.
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, I saw this name that was just registered without any bottle, any brand, any just the name registered as a spirit. And I asked the person if I could just use it, said yes. And at the end of the story, I ended up with my own bottle, the brand. I said, this has to be mine 100%. And that's it, how I ended up with Cabo Maya.
I see the paintings. I see also a pyramid underneath it.
Yes.
Very nice.
I thought that was a nice touch as well. Like people try also to recognize Mexico with the pyramids and so on. Yeah. I think.
So what does it mean? Anything?
Not really. It's the name that matches perfectly also the logo from it. And in the romantic part of the story with Cabo Maya, it will for me it will mean that the Mayas, which are one of the most advanced civilizations back then, also settle in Mexico, apart from Mexico to Central America and South. And some part of some area where they were settled in Mexico was called Cabo Catoche. So in Cabo Catoche, they were the Maya settled. So it's kind of the game of names.
Cavo means like in Greek, o Kavos it means the place that the ships anchor.
I think it would be more or less the same. It's like this part of air, like soil or earth that is surrounded by water.
Yeah.
Like not a peninsula. Peninsula would be very big. Cabo would be a smaller side.
But you can attach your ship there or something.
Yes, also, of course.
Nice. Okay, let's try the
plata.
The spirit, the plata, the spirit. I have already smelled it. Salud.
Llamas.
Yeah, right? you know, in how many languages do you know?
Salud. Not many.
Okay.
Not many.
One, the Greek and the
5, 6.
Okay. I think it covers the most of the world, most of the party places like Mexico, Greece. Okay, probably France, England.
France, yes. Chin chin. Salute, Italians.
Okay. Now, what we are tasting now? Tell me, please remind me again your specialty. You have studied?
Yeah, engineering biotechnology.
Yeah. So, does it help you create this product?
Yes, 100%. I would have never said that, or thought I would have said that, to be honest, when I was back then studying. And this gave me a lot of process of engineering mentality of how to, from solving problems, and also at least to understand all the process from the tequila, from the fermentations, of all the small details that could be implied and then change even in a small thing. And
Sorry. Okay, let's try this wonderful spirit and tell us tell us some things, like tasting wise. What are we going to taste?
So whenever you find Cabo Maya and you try it, and first, tasting will be the same as any other spirit. First a small sip, so it's kind of with the alcohol first on your palate, and then in the next one a bit bigger, you keep it a bit on your mouth, and when you swallow it, then you kind of breathe a little bit, so you get all the notes as well, as the whiskeys as well. I'm sure it's the same tasting procedure, kind of.
We have done the tasting before, but I asked you because it's very good at tasting. You were very good at tasting cigars as well. Last time we were here.
Well, you taught me.
Yeah, but it's a simple principle.
You have to try it.
Okay, but about the spirit now.
Sorry.
It's very.
This is a fresh one. This is very, very fresh. This will be more from green apple notes to more citric notes. You know what? Now I always forget, but right now we're in winter, and the liquid is a bit cold.
Yeah.
So notes are different when it changes temperature. We will have different notes. Tequila, it's also a spirit that opens, so we leave it for a while, and we will have more notes coming up.
And we smell it like a flower, and every time it's a different note we pick up. So what impressed me with Cabo Maya, it was very, very soft. Very delicate. I can feel the taste. I know it's there, but the alcohol is very good. It's very hidden in the spirit, but you get all the nice taste. And when you sip it, you understand it's a very premium product, a very artisanal product. You are enjoying to sip it slowly.
Yes.
Now, not in Greece, we are not very accustomed with sipping tequila, but it is one of the ones you have to try.
Yes. And as you said, like sipping it, ligo.
Poco.
De poquito en poquito.
Poquito en poquito.
So at this temperature, it's not the first time I get a bit more of, it's weird to say it, but kind of maybe coconut, a bit of vanilla, which might be weird for a plata. But I think it's not the first time that I have these notes at this temperature. When it's warm, a bit warmer, the room temperature, I mean, I think I will have more from the fresh citric notes first than others. This may be for some fats that comes also from the from the harvest and the leaves
Yeah.
and the piñas and so on. I think so.
Very, I think I feel the oiliness of
Yeah.
the spirit. And when we are looking to match a cigar in the cigar lounge, we are looking for sweet and oily taste, so we can have a great aftertaste, sticks
Okay.
on the palate, and protects the palate from the harshness of a smoke.
Okay.
So this is one of the nice ones.
This will go with a very light cigar, I would say, like more fresh, more.
Maybe on the lighter side, we get cigars with cedar notes and cream. This would accompany this tequila nicer. If you get too much spiciness out of a cigar, it would cover this delicate tequila.
Yeah.
So for people who haven't tried Cava Maya, what you get here is a very nice, very soft artisanal tequila, but you get very creaminess and oiliness on your palate, and you can sip it ligo, and you can sip it ligo for the whole night without this being too much on you. If you put a cigar on the side, you need to get a nice light to medium cigar. But I'm interested to check the barrel aged tequilas now, so we can search for more elements like spices and maybe smoke.
From the wood, it would come
Yeah.
from the wood. Yeah, definitely. Should we get a glass?
Yes, please. Thank you.
Please. And the reposado.
Reposado, it goes in for 8 months.
This is 8 months in American white oak barrels.
The same goes for this bottle with a pyramid and Kukulkan.
Kukulkan, yes.
Kukulkan,
I'll
yes.
give you this one.
Okay, thank you. And with a nice ribbon, another color. This one,
Yes. Everything from it's super like I know sometimes I said I would like this from like I don't know other type of materials
Let
or
me.
things like
look at
this.
it a bit.
But everything is planned and it has a purpose why it's like this on the bottle. Even the ribbon, the colors as well. And
To be successful, you have to be a little bit of psychotic to do this kind of stuff. Otherwise, you just do something easy, something everybody does. But works like this is out of the ordinary. You have to be a bit of genius to do stuff like this.
You have
Everywhere,
to be
everywhere.
They say the devil is on the details, so that's true.
Okay,
That's so true.
Okay, I want a question about
Yeah.
a girl being in business. It's not about but how it feels to be in business. We live in a world that men created it, and it is changing. Women are getting their opportunities, but it's not there yet. We all know that. But how it feels for you to be, so enthusiastic, so enthusiastic about your product, and how do you do in this kind of world?
It has been difficult, to be honest. Not only business that are, I don't want to say like mainly made for men or like this, but at least this industry for sure. I'm sure there are many industries where it might be more dominated by women, but in this industry is definitely dominated by men. So everything, I always said back then, if we were lucky, from 10 we were 2 women there, counting myself there, and this was like good and bad in a way, because it's not normal or common to do business with a woman. So sometimes you might not be taken serious. They might not even know that you are the one from the business.
Yeah.
And there are many funny situations going on then. They will not imagine that for example, that I was the owner of it and so on. So but of course there are good side, like you will have more attention definitely because you're different out there. But from one thing is having the attention, but another one is really getting there and closing deals and doing the business properly and till the end, right? And this is the difficult part, like to complete and make sure everything is kind of round for this point.
It is a big decision, to get that you are going to devote your life, as you
Yes.
do right now, to chase a dream, make a business, build an empire, maybe. You're
Crossing
getting there.
fingers.
You're getting
Crossing
there.
fingers.
Yeah. I hope the best, and let's talk about
Reposado.
now. Salud.
Salud.
I get more yellow fruit as well in this one, in the nose.
In this one, I also will get more like dry fruits as well.
But on the palate,
But
you
on the
get
palate
a
more.
punch of spices, eh?
Yes. I think also when it's a bit warmer, you might get sometimes a bit of a pepper note. And right now, I didn't get it on the plata, but maybe a bit more on this one.
Yeah.
A bit more sharpy with the wood notes. This will make it a bit more round. I always imagine this is more like, people might hate me, I don't know. This may be more like a cowboy, I feel like reposado.
Yeah,
Right?
more macho.
Yes, yes. I
the-
feel more like a cowboy. And the plata, it has like two sides. Might be someone on the beach, or might be like, I always imagine the cocktail, the white lady. Something like that, like more fancy kind of stuff as well, but like womanly side
yeah.
as well. I would say.
Okay, we have already tried two of your children.
Yes.
If they were a superhero, who would be the first and who the second?
Which superhero would be?
Yeah. The red one, okay, the yellow one, the Reposado, you gave a name, it's like a cowboy. So we
Yeah.
imagine a Marlboro man, maybe
Could be.
smoking, and
Yes,
and
yes.
a macho man. So the first one, who would be?
And something with leather, I would say, the reposado. Something
Yeah,
more like
definitely.
with the
In
leather
the
thing.
aftertaste, I can feel
Yes.
the liver, yeah.
So, something like that. The first one, as I mean, I don't want to say like some silk clothes, and yeah, from the white lady, something about more like that fancy.
More a princess style.
Yes,
Yeah,
and this side, but this I imagine sometimes more in the European side because I don't see the Europe very tropical or exotic.
Yeah.
But if I imagine this more like in Mexico or any other country, I would directly imagine like a palm tree and the coconuts and so
Yeah.
on, 100%.
Stuff like
So,
that.
what would that be? Like more like a mermaid?
Ah.
The Little Mermaid
The
would
Little
be.
Mermaid, this one.
Yes, that could transform, make a transformation from the princess to the seaside. There you go.
Nice one, nice one, nice one. So, let's try the third one.
Yes.
It's like the wise elder or something from the two.
Sorry?
So is it the wise elder from the other two, or it is
Yes.
the rebel child?
No. I would say this is the thoughtful one, like the one wiser, like the one
Yeah.
like really thinking about it. Yeah. The one you will have like whenever you have a tough decision to make.
You put a
Yes.
good
Exactly. It's
You
like
light a cigar. You put a good
Yeah.
drink in your glasses.
you will say, I need an añejo. Right? Definitely.
So,
Please.
like Napoleon said, we need champagne when we are winning and when we are not.
Yes.
So we need it at all occasions.
So please.
Oh, thank you. Yellow, golden ribbon, this one. More
Yeah.
royally.
So this comes from the 18 months in American White Oak barrels. Should I give it to you?
Yes, please.
And let me give you
And,
the
and I
top.
will put some more.
Yeah, I'm sure
we
you
do
will
have
enjoy
a
this
tough
one.
decision to make.
A tough one.
It's a tough one. So, this, for the first smell, it reminds me of whiskey.
Yes.
Yeah, you could tell it.
Bourbon.
Yeah, you could tell it would be.
And because
Nice
of the
Kentucky.
temperature, as I said before, I mentioned it will take a bit more for the notes to start coming. Or
You mentioned the temperature. What
Yeah.
about the ice and the water? Do you put ice and water in your?
this will be a personal decision.
And how does it affect it?
It will affect it, and in the case that it will be watered down, of course, and the notes will be lower. But it's not a fun fact. A curious fact, dato curioso.
Fun fact. A fun fact.
Fun fact would be dato curioso in Spanish. We will have tequila should be the tasting. You know when the whiskeys they put even water to taste it, to
droplets.
water down. Exactly. It's the same with the tequilas. So for the best or better notes to come out, I'm almost sure. I think I heard it was around 28 degrees, not 18. No, I think it was
28 alcohol degrees.
Yes, it has to be. And this is not a tequila qualified. This will not be called tequila, but this is just for the tasting notes to come out in a better way.
Yeah.
Some tasting specialists.
I cannot.
Told me this.
I cannot remove it from my nostrils. You have seen because it's very interesting in.
It kept changing.
Yeah,
that's also a thing.
Very interesting in the nose. So, let's try some.
Salud.
Salud. Για μας.
Για μας.
Perfect.
Yanis, you forgot. Take 2. No, it's okay.
This is much more elegant. Yeah,
Yes.
the other one was a cowboy. This.
Right?
Yeah, he lives in a mansion.
Yeah. I agree. Tough decisions coming.
Yeah, you get. I understand it now because if it has a long aftertaste, you like keep your mouth shut until you feel the aftertaste. And if you have to make a big decision, you have to keep thinking like for a couple of seconds at least. So now I get it. Nice one, very elegantly,
Really nice.
very royal, I would say.
A lot of caramel, vanilla on the taste.
The spices are gone, the pepper is gone.
Yes.
And you get all the caramel and the sugary taste.
Yes, also vanilla. Some people, sometimes I've heard here or there, people telling me that it tastes to plums. And I didn't get it why. And once I was just walking around the distillery and piñas were cooked, the ovens or the autoclave was, steaming. And I wasn't paying attention. I was just walking, I had a lot of my thoughts, like, I had to check this, I had to do that. My mom was walking in front of me, having a chat with someone from the distillery, was thinking, and suddenly I was just walking, it's like, plums. There are some plums, like, where are the plums? Where am I? And then I just kind of, I just woke up and said, like, this is what people were meant. Yeah, this is plums, but it's not plums. It comes from the cooked piñas and the sugars, and somehow
they get caramelized or something.
Exactly, related, and with the notes from the barrel, you can taste it in the añejo.
So this I would, if we had to, to make some similar taste. If I could say to people that this feels like a rum, maybe feels like a rough whiskey.
Yeah.
More spicy, like a rye whiskey.
Exactly.
And this is a mermaid. Okay. This is something extraordinary. But this could be one of the drinks that you could keep in your glass. You could smoke a cigar. It would pair well with most of the cigars.
Yeah, this will be with a heavier cigar. I think so.
Yeah,
right?
It could manage because it has a big aftertaste, long aftertaste, so you can keep it in your mouth and have a rough cigar, full flavor cigar.
Yeah, exactly.
So we all tried. We have tried everything. What's your favorite cocktail with these spirits?
Oof.
You mentioned one, but I don't know which is your favorite.
I'm very classic on the cocktails, I would say.
Margarita?
Yes. I like a lot the margarita or the paloma. I think it works perfect. With the plata, mainly. You can have one with the reposado, but this, for me, is not a classic margarita. It will taste...
Yeah, a dirty margarita.
It will be, with a twist of margarita. And then you can also be chili, spice, and so on. And then I will add the reposado, not the plata, in my opinion. We also have I would say, maybe for a Negroni, I will go with the reposado. Not with the añejo, because it will go very sweet. For the añejo, which I will prefer it like a whiskey on the rocks or something like that.
Yeah, reposado. It could be a nice old-fashioned with reposado.
An old-fashioned with a
keep the
reposado.
character, but it would make it sweeter.
And it will, yeah, and it will not go that side. So something orangey as well, and maybe the añejo I would love it on the rocks, to be honest, and maybe just with a rim, a garnish of with an orange maybe or something, and just neat. Yeah.
Okay.
If you would like to do like a dessert kind of, then it will go with the reposado, sorry, with the añejo, and it will go to the sweet side. You know, it's already a proper dessert. So.
You live in London? Mama lives in Mexico?
No. I'm between, I don't even know what to say by now. I will be like between...
You live on a plane?
Yes. I'm missing my crew. Or I'm part of one at some point, I feel like that. I will be spending a lot more time between London and Greece now, I think. This would be like the best places to be for the tequila. And Mexico, now I will be going a lot. We have production at least by now programmed 2 times.
Yeah, 2 times a year.
There are some surprises that you mentioned. I read somewhere there, like, are there some surprises or things coming up with the brand? Yes, they are. There are some still like so back in the oven that is not even something sure to say that will happen.
How many years are you running this Cabo Maya project?
This is interesting. I would say between 9 and officially 6 years. So it's since 2014. I was already digging on it.
People will think you started like 15 years old. You know?
No. I'm 35, so I'm an old lady, guys.
It's a big surprise. This was a big surprise.
I'm an old lady. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah, you're on your full swing in your life.
With a very young soul. No.
We are very young. I'm 37. We are very, very young.
Yeah.
Okay, so what is the next product you are releasing? I know you have something coming up.
Yes, by the way, the Cristalino that I mentioned once when we first met.
What is a Cristalino? First thing first, because people will know. Yeah.
Yes, it's very popular in Mexico. It was trendy. It's still a trend, but in Europe, I would say it's not here yet. Because of many reasons, but a Cristalino would be a reposado or an añejo that has been filtered, washed, or
and clarified.
Processed, clarified through carbon activated.
So you get the aging charcoal without the color, actually.
Color, and many other characteristics. So it will lose, like the molecules will definitely change in the structures, some of them. So that's why some taste will change as well. It will be like a lot smoother and so on. So this is a very delicate process for a tequila, because tequila is already, for example, in this case, when you have a kind of a smooth profile in a way from the notes, and then you wash it, filter it, or things with activated carbon, it will water it a lot. And Cabo Maya, for me, it is something that will never have a taste added, like something an additive for the taste. So this is a very delicate process in the brand, especially because I would never want to have any glycerin or to sweeten it up, or caramel notes, so it makes it sweeter, you know.
So it's
or vanilla, which is kind of permitted in the tequila avocados.
Yes. Yeah, the council of tequila.
Additives. Yes. So the kind of additives. It's there are some for that. It's
but you prefer to be clean, clear.
Yes,
and,
for me this is the most important one. Like tequila is such a special spirit. I would say it doesn't need anything. When we have like a rum and you can harvest sugar cane over 3 or 4 times a year, if it's a super year. Then of course you need to make the spirit special, like barrels or aging and things like this, solera. But tequila from the raw material or any agave spirits, they're already very special, I would say. It takes so many years, at least 6, 7, 8 years to harvest it. So imagine all the nutrients, all the notes that the piñas they're taking from the soil, from the sun for so many years. It's already a very special spirit from the raw material. So yeah, it's very delicate. It's going through other processes in tequila will be delicate not to.
Will change the character of
Yes,
tequila.
exactly. And it
would be the same for all
yes,
the years.
Exactly.
It was very.
So whenever we have a cristalino, even Cabo Maya's cristalino, it is no sugar, no glycerin added, no vanilla notes added, and anything, and it just tastes different. And the cristalinos may be from reposados or añejos. Cabo Maya's cristalino that is sold at the moment in Mexico, it's from reposado. Yeah.
Nice. One question, because it keeps.
Yeah.
What is your favorite food?
Food. I love seafood.
You pair seafood with Cabo Maya?
I would say plata with seafood. Yes.
Yeah, very smooth, very nice, very delicate.
Yeah. I would even like, even on an oyster, or you can even pour a little bit of tequila even.
We did have an event with champagne and oysters, but we end up putting smoked whiskey on the oysters. So I'm going to try an oyster with a tequila next time. Yeah.
Yes. And I have some friends actually that they've been marinating their steaks with the reposado.
No?
Yeah, it's also good.
We will going to try now with with chefs downstairs.
Yeah, that will be with the reposado. Suggested and
nice.
Recommended.
See you all here next week, and until then, drink like a gentleman
or a lady.
Or like a lady.
Come on. Llamas.
Llamas.